So guys, this is my review for Fena Pirate Princess episode 4, and with that, let's dive right into this episode, guys. Let's get it. So opening up on episode 4, we see Fena here. She's dreaming. She's in this dream, and she is basically, like, as you see, she's like tilted to the side, dangling on the side of her legs there, and her hair's blowing, and the wind is blowing in a specific direction, and like these, I want to say their flower petals are like floating out in the air like that, right? So there's this voice that calls her maiden of purest white, which do you choose? And it's basically like asking her, which path do you choose, like basically like a light side or a dark side, basically what this voice was asking her to choose from. And she then like turns into the flower petals and disappears, floats off, and then she ends up waking up. So it was really like weird opening and interesting dream that she was having here in episode 4. And the title episode is called The Mystery of the Stone. It's more focused on them finding out information, in which we do find out information in episode 4 here to come soon. So once the episode progresses a little bit early, um, Fena and Yukimaro have a definite argument that actually goes out, and Shiton hears them arguing. So basically, they have a argument because Fena, she rebandages his right arm because he had gotten injured in last week's episode. That she basically is like telling him like, I promise I won't be useless anymore. Yukimaro is basically like, no, you don't need to feel like you're useless. We don't need you to help us. We're here to protect you. You don't need to be on the battlefield with us. And Fena disagrees, and like I said, they have this argument going back and forth, saying like, well, Fena's like, I do need to be useful, and I'm gonna promise that I am, and Yukimaro is basically telling her like, no, you're not. And they have this argument. Poor dog in the middle, or is in the middle, don't understand what's going on. But then Shitan comes around a little bit later, and he stops Yukimaro, and basically was just telling him like, you kind of a bit aggressive. You don't need to be, but he, because he block, like Shitan blocks him. He stops him, puts his leg up to stop him from walking down the hall, and he basically was telling him, like, you don't have to be so aggressive towards her. And he's like, you just need to let me by. But this is pretty much the couple of scenes here. But then we start to get some stuff between Fena and the rest of the crew moving forward here in episode 4. Basically, what ends up happening is Fena has a conversation with Shitan, right? She wants him to teach her how to use a bow. And what Shitan does, which I find very hilarious, he ends up around to he has her going around all the other crew member besides Yukimaro, because of their disagreement, to have them teach her how to use like a sword, because again, Shitan, he uses a bow. Try to use a sword or a gun or whatever type of a weapon that they are supposed to be expertise is at, right? And it was really funny because all of them kept turning her down, and Shitan, I felt like Shitan was just doing it as a joke, but eventually he follows through with her, and ends up teaching her a little bit of some techniques on how to basically use a weapon. But again, like I said, I felt like Shiton was just doing this as a gag, as a joke, to just to get on everybody else's nerves, because they kept yelling at him as he was running away per each of the scenes, while Fena was there to take the bulk of the yelling in her direction, which was really funny to me. But all in all, I did enjoy these moments here and watching Fena go to each character and trying to get them to teach her how to use a weapon and stuff like that. But needless to say, once all this occurs, then we move into the more crucial and critical stuff per the episode, moving forward. Now, what they end up doing, they end up coming across another town. I don't remember them saying giving the name of the town. I can't remember. But they come here and they actually find out that this place, they manufactured similar stones like this, but not in this specific form that it looks like now. But the guy was basically saying like it does seem like it was made by us, but not anymore. Like basically saying like it used to be. Now, it seemed like it was a dead end, another dead end for them. But then they introduced another character who will be definitely beneficial and helpful for them moving forward in the episode. And that character is this young lady here. Her name is Arya. Arya, she steps in because she was overhearing the conversation. She comes up to them and says that maybe she can help. She's holding the stone in her hand. She's examining it, and then she says, "I believe I know somebody who can actually benefit to help you all, and it'll be very beneficial for you all if you come with me to where I'm headed. But it's gonna take us. It's gonna take a hike to get to where we need to go. But obviously, once she stepped in, you kind of knew, and once she was holding it, you kind of knew that they were gonna get some type of an answer to come moving forward in the episode, in which this answer is coming soon to come. And the person that she takes him to is actually her grandfather. He basically had. She said that he was a bit grumpy and wasn't sure if it was basically saying like it would take him a little bit to welcome them in, but he only allowed 4 of them to come in. So as you see, it's just these 4 specific besides Fena. And he looks at the stone. He actually had Yukimaro fix his childhood knife that he got from his father when he was a kid, and he really did indeed enjoy the fact that he was able to fix that knife up. So with that actually helped in him giving the information that they needed. So he has his granddaughter grab this blue book with some information in it, and basically what he said that in 1436 was around the time that the stone was it was here, but it wasn't actually manufactured here. It wasn't created here. It was actually created in France, and by somebody specific that went by a specific name called La Purcell. And with that name, the original person's name was Joan of Arc. Joan of Arc, but he says it in shock because he's saying, Joan of Arc died in 1490 in 1441. But he says that the stone was brought here 5 years after her death by her. So he's saying like it's either, from what I'm getting the gist of, he's saying that either Joan of Arc, the La Purcell, faked her death, went by this different name, and came here with that stone, or she did indeed die and somebody brought it here, forging her signature. So it's just one of those things. But at the same time, she ends up having a conversation with. It's either she telling Yukimaro, I can't remember off the top of my head right at this moment, but she basically says that I've heard that name La Purcell before. I just can't remember, but I feel like somebody has called me that in the past. And then that's when this scene comes up at the end of the episode. And we get this scene back at the boat where Abel and Amali are at. We get this image here of this woman, blue eyes, blonde hair. She's wearing this heart necklace that I didn't connect until this episode where he was holding on to the heart necklace at the end of episode 3 last week, and then Fena is wearing like that sort of same necklace on her neck. I didn't catch that until this episode where, and then like he reaches out to the image here, and he's like he says, he even says La Pucelle, and he like reaches out to this portrait, and he's like sort of kind of scratching at the image, before he finally just like closes it, because there's like a map section that's hiding this portrait here behind it. So he says in the episode there has to be some sort of connection between this portrait's image of the young lady, because again, her and Fena have the same eyes. They're literally wearing the same necklace, and he specifically is connected to Fena and this young lady here in this portrait. Now, I'm gonna guess and say like Fena has amnesia; she doesn't remember who she is, or you know, or something else. But that's what I'm just guessing. I'm not sure. But all in all, the episode was good enough. More so got I felt like it was more comedic in the middle of the episode, and it just got real serious towards the end. But all in all, I did enjoy it. But I felt like episode 3 was better than episode 4. Just we gained just that key information about Joan of Arc towards the tail end of this episode and then La Pucelle. So pretty much, guys, that's my review of episode 4. What did y'all think of the episode when you first sat down and watched it for the first time? Leave some comments in the comment section below. Let's talk about some things. Let me know your thoughts on episode 4 if you feel it talking about it. But other than that, I will talk to y'all next time with more Fena Pirate Princess. Peace, guys.